Okay, so welcome. This is David Mitchell. Welcome to Social Reset podcast number 3. This is the authentic, no, it's not the authentic. It's the Approach Night podcast. I'll get the name correct one of these days. So we are here with Dave and Big D. And we have a guest. We have a guest here, someone who joined us last Sunday, and I'd like him to introduce himself right now.
I don't know if I'm a guest. I've been with you for about a year now.
That's true. You are one of my clients. What would you like us to call you during this podcast?
I think I gave myself a nickname, Samurai.
Samurai. Right on. That's a great nickname. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, Samurai. Yes, he's Samurai has been working with me for about a year. He came to one of my workshops last year, and we had a lot of fun together. And so he's decided to join us, I hope, on a permanent basis.
I do. I mean, that's my intention. It's just that work has been keeping me very, very busy. And I also have been traveling a lot. So I've not been home quite a bit over the last 3 or 4 months. And that's why I could not join you guys on your first 2 approach nights.
Gotcha.
If I'm in town, I will make it a point to join you.
Good. Yeah. I'm more than happy to have you there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just to give some perspective and context. The very first time I met you, like a year ago, I was like a wallflower. If I went to a party, I would just sit quietly by myself and talk to only the people who talk to me. And then by the end of the night, I would just go home quietly and nobody would even notice that I was there. A year later, just to contrast that, in fact, last Saturday, I went to a party. I wouldn't call myself the life of the party, but I had so much fun. I had so many people laughing, and I've been invited to other parties now. And so I can see a big difference in myself. It's quite a lot of it has to do with the workshop that we went to and the conversations that we as a group have had. So all of those things help. So even though I have not been regular in coming to these meetings, I have been practicing quite a few of the things that you talked about privately. So it's been a big help.
Good, great. I'm really glad. And you're right that you are much different than you were a year ago. You're definitely more confident, more willing to speak up, and I'm enjoying it. And seeing you on Sunday was a real treat.
Oh, thank you.
And so let's go ahead and get started this week. Thank you very much for the kind words there, Samurai. I appreciate it. I'm glad that I'm able to make an impact in your guys' lives. That's really what I'm doing this for, and nothing else. So let's go ahead and get started. So last Sunday, we decided to do a little bit of day game, which is, as you guys would probably agree, a little bit different than night game for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, for
pretty
sure.
different.
Very, very different, huh?
Yeah, very different.
Okay. And we also decided that we were going to change the focus this Sunday. The first 2 nights we practiced approach. And then I thought, okay, you guys are getting pretty good at that. And I also wanted to throw in a rejection day. And so I decided to combine last Sunday day game with a rejection day. And I'm not sure about you guys. We'll get to your little check in here in a little bit, but I love doing rejection days. I mean, I used to hate doing rejection days when I was doing them myself, because I mean, who wants to go out there and purposely get rejected? It's not easy, but I have to say that of all the things that I've been practicing, I would say that rejection days, when I go out and I actually practice rejection, that has had the biggest impact on how far I have come in my development, in my social development, and in my dating life as well. And real quick, Big D, I got to say one thing. We can hear you shaving right now.
Sorry.
Just wanted to say that it was pretty noticeable. So
Sorry about
that's okay. It's a great way to get started. So Big D, how was that? This is your first rejection day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty much. It was my first day.
Yeah, was this your first time doing day game as well?
Well, I would like try to do it by myself, but it just like you have that thought and like baby steps. I would talk to someone at a shoe store or something like that, but wouldn't even do the approach. Like pretty much jumped like 5 steps going, with you guys and everything. It was way, way better. Like, what did we said hi? That was what we said hi first. Then what was after that?
Yeah, the first thing we did. Well, first, we met, and then we started the way we always start, which is playing
Improv games.
Some improv.
Yeah, improv games always. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're getting a little more advanced with our improv games. We're like mixing and matching them at the same time. It's kind of really keeping you on your toes.
For sure.
And we also played some old standards. We played the Yes and game, and then we practiced a new one called New Story.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. How was it fun for you?
You could tell like you said, the elasticity of the muscle that we use for that type of verbiage or restarting the sentence. You like, holy crap, you could feel that muscle just expand. For
our listeners here, why don't you go ahead and tell us the premise of the story? The premise of the game.
The process of it? The process of the game? Basically, let's see. There was a premise, if there was a premise
I would give you
or something like that.
Yeah, I would give you a topic to just start discussing.
Yeah, and we would discuss, and we just randomly, okay, I'm driving along in a Pinto with a pink elephant on my back. Start over. Pinto on the back with a rhino stuck in my foot. And then start over.
So
we just keep going over and over and over.
Yeah, I would make you start talking about a story. I would give you the topic of a story, and then you would just start making up a story based on what I gave you. And at any time, anyone in the group, if they didn't like the way that the story was going, they could say, new story. And you had to back up 3 or 4 words and start and say something completely different. So if you were saying, yeah, I was walking down the street one day and I met this beautiful woman, we could say new story. And then you had to say, I was walking down the street one day and I saw this elephant on the sidewalk. New story. I was walking down the street one day and I saw a pair of roller skates. And it could just keep going and going and going as long as we wanted to change the story. And this was kind of a newer thing for you guys, because I was trying to, I've seen that you've gotten really good at the games I've given you so far. So I'm starting to throw some more challenging ones in there. Did you feel particularly challenged by that game?
Oh yeah, especially when you freaking start all over. I'm like, ugh. Like you could feel it. I'm like, oh, this is something new, for sure. Yeah, but it was fun. Yeah. I thought that was a really fun game.
I don't know. I felt so. What I ended up doing was structuring what my responses were going to be if I got asked to start over. Because you guys were like starting me over almost like every single sentence. Yeah, so it's like, well, if they don't like what I said, then I can either like take it down a notch or take it up a notch. And that's just essentially like what I did. So it ended up being like this like tree of bifurcations that ended up in some really zany places. Yeah. But once
Very zany places.
yeah, once I had that structure in place, it kind of made it easier to keep it flowing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the purpose of the purpose of the game, was to really challenge you and to get you to stop thinking so much about structure and just really just flowing with whatever comes up.
Yeah.
Because the more you flow, the better it is, the funnier it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so then
I took a slightly different approach. It was not a tree of decision, a decision tree that I went through. I let my mind be free. And so one moment I was talking about elephants, riding on elephants. The other moment I was talking about doing something else on Mars. So it helped me become nimble in the way I thought, and basically it kept me up on my toes. And that's a very, very big problem in real life for me as well. I cannot come up with something on the spot. So I feel like I'm put on the spot. I feel like like a deer in frozen in headlights. But I think this game helped me think on my feet. So I need to practice this more so that I become looser in my day-to-day conversations.
Yeah, that's very true, and that was the point of the exercise. Is, I'm trying to tap into each one of your own inner wells of conversation, because they're there, but we let our thoughts get in the way. And once you can move those thoughts aside and just let things flow and not be ashamed or try to filter anything, then it starts to flow, and then some really funny things happen. So then we started moving towards, we started outside and we started moving towards a mall. And on the way I decided to give you guys an exercise along the way, which was to, say hi to everyone and, talk about, anything that you could talk about while you were in the moment with that person. And I noticed that when we first started out, that it was not that easy for you guys. I saw that, just saying hi to people in general feels kind of awkward. How does that feel for you guys, Big D? How's that feel for you? Just saying hi to
at first, yeah, it was a little awkward, I have to say. It was really awkward at first, but then after, going through it a couple more times and actually seeing the other guys do it, I'm like, it's not that the anxiety level was a little high in the beginning, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it got a little bit progressively better after that.
Yeah, you could tell like you were getting comfortable. And Dave, you were I made a comment about this because I noticed when you were saying hi to people, when you were talking to people, that you were playing small.
Yeah, I was relatively meek, and that was making it harder because I'm already like not a big guy, and so that was making it harder for me to get their attention. And that was like one of the first piece of advice you gave me on Saturday, is that go big. You have to like show up. And even if that means physically like putting myself like right in front of them to get their attention, that's what I've got to do to grab their attention. So yeah, that's not a natural thing for me to do, but I think once I started paying attention to it, then I started doing that for like most of my interactions that I was trying to have throughout the day.
Yeah, it's not something that we do naturally. I think that we all have this polite filter about us. Like, oh, if we're being rude or obnoxious, we're being rude or obnoxious if we say something to perfect strangers.
Yeah.
And it's not true. I mean, most people, when you're being playful and fun, they really like it.
Yeah. No, that's you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to consciously. It was a nonstop conscious effort throughout the day to make sure that I was doing that like the whole day.
Did it feel like it was becoming more comfortable as you were doing it?
I hope that's what happens over time, but it kind of felt like it was like work. It's like, okay, you're gonna go to the gym and you're gonna do these bicep curls, but you also have to, carry this backpack full of weights while you're doing that.
Yes, Big D, that was you.
Yeah.
You got to put that thing on a pillow or something. You've got it on maximum vibrate, and I don't want to know why.
I got everything on the low right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. We interrupted you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. So it doesn't. I can't lie. It didn't feel natural when I started. It didn't feel natural by the end of the day. It didn't feel like it was like less work. I'm hoping it'll get like less work over, as like the weeks and months go by. But yeah, it was work, and I could kind of feel it like drain on my energy levels like throughout the day. It's like, man, like all I'm doing is like walking around a mall. Like, why am I so tired? But yeah, it helped get people's attention. Like that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did.
What was the adjustment that you made to start, showing up bigger?
Eye contact and then getting like closer to people before I started talking. So I wouldn't necessarily be touching them, but it's not like I'm like 10 feet away and saying like, hi, how's it going? I would like try to like make it like a interaction, even if it's going to be brief, because like the point of the day was rejection. At least I would have like shown up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big point that, I've struggled with it as well. I played small for a very long time. Just thinking, we have all these thoughts in our head that, if you're that obnoxious guy that goes up and starts, being really loud around people, then they're not going to like that. And it took me a long time to get over that, to just let it flow and go out and start being big, and it's a whole different mindset. And yeah, at first it takes a lot of energy to do that when it's not your natural state.
Yeah.
When it's not your natural state, you have to expend energy to get there. And we're going to work on that as we continue. Samurai.
I agree with Dave. It felt like work. And just like Big D, it was tough in the beginning. But as the day progressed, it became easier. But all said and done, it still felt like work. And not something that I would do naturally. But I guess that's the whole point of the exercise, is to become more social, more outgoing, being more extroverted, and just having fun doing all of those things.
Yeah, that's the key word right there is having fun. I would say that's the key ingredient. When you're out there having fun, it's contagious. People, they want to join you. So having fun, being playful, I think that made a big difference. I noticed when we started walking towards the mall, I told you guys to say hi to everyone and make some comments and, just try to be playful. And it was very like, hi, how's it going? Hi, how you doing? That kind of thing. And most people were just kind of like, you could tell that they were feeling uncomfortable. Right. but when, you know, and I kind of, I showed you guys a little bit more about, you know, how to, you know, how to show up bigger. You know, it's like, hey man, you know, that's a great beard you've got there. That's like the best beard I've ever seen in my life. You know, it's like you have more, you know, more tone in your, more volume in your voice, and you're making a comment and you're showing some excitement. And it really didn't take me a lot to expend that amount of energy. That was just, you know, raising my voice a little bit, and, you know, people would respond like, wow, thanks a lot, you know. And I believe there was one lady that had a great pair of shoes, you know, and she just loved it that we were, you know, digging on her shoes, and, you know, she was responding and playing back with us.
Was that
She had like gladiator shoes or something.
did she have like a posse, and they're like, oh, like we're a bunch of trouble, and like we were like joking back too, like, oh well, so are we.
Yep.
Is that crew? Yeah, those ladies were fun.
Yep. They were fun for sure.
I think I started.
Go ahead.
Remember, like after that, I started giving somebody shit for Jeremy Lin jersey. Yeah.
Now that was really great, because I remember when we first, you know, we met them at the stop sign, or at the stoplight, right, when we were crossing the street, and they were not interested at all in anything that we had to say at first. Yeah. And, you know, you started making comments because the guy was wearing a Lin jersey.
Yeah.
And that was a great way to like start the comment. And you were like giving him shit, and he was, you know, ready to give it back to you for sure.
Yep. But I know a little bit of basketball, so I was going to make it easy for him.
Mm-hmm. You gave him a nice layup.
I did. But once we started bantering back and forth, like I think his like lady friends like joined in a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then you had made a comment about like how they're like, I think like two of them had like a bag from the Container Store, and it was like so big they were like both holding it.
It's like, that's the biggest bag I've ever seen in my life. It takes two of you to carry that bag. They were laughing. And then the cool thing though was that, how many times did we see them inside the mall?
Oh, like 3 or 4 times.
And every time we saw them, we're like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great thing. It was like, once you start bantering with people and you start meeting them again, it's almost like seeing old friends. You know, when you meet up again with them in the mall.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Yeah, what else was I doing to like make fun of people? There's a guy who was shopping, and so I just started to like pretend that I was his conscience. I was like, buy it, buy me. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's being playful. You know, that's definitely being playful. So we've had another guest join us, and I will have him introduce himself. What would you like to call yourself during this podcast, Mr. Guest?
E is good.
E?
Yeah, E is good.
Okay, E is good. How are you today?
E is doing well. Got in a little bit late here to this, but better late than never.
True. Better late than never. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I had some business to take care of today, but about Sunday, I thought it went real well. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you absolutely had some fun. How are you feeling a couple days later? Were you triggered during the approaches that we had on Sunday? How did you feel about the objective, which was to be rejected?
Well, you're kind of conflicted because the objective is to be rejected, but really you're hoping to get accepted. And one of you mentioned I was more of a machine. And I guess in hindsight, maybe I was, but it's hard to tell.
Well, that's what I had heard, is that you were going and going and going. You were the Energizer Bunny there. Didn't have any problem at all with the approaches and the assignments that I was giving you?
Well, there was a lot of effort involved with kind of doing some pre-filtering, and you have to filter certain individuals and to get to the proper ones to approach.
So you found that you were filtering then?
Yes, the obvious ones, right? The couples, the teens, that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's the difficult thing about going to the mall to do day game. If you're not a teenager, you have to watch out for teenagers.
Yeah, that was a constant pain.
Wasn't it?
It's like, oh, could I? Borderline, don't, not today.
Yeah, I wish we had a place to go where everyone was certified adult, but those are called bars.
Yeah, that is one big difference between day and night game is, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about that.
Right. There's a lot of differences with between day game and night game. We spoke a little bit about this while we were out. And I think one of the main differences, some people like day game, some people prefer night game. During night game, it's like people are expecting for you to approach them. So a lot of people find that easier because, they feel like they're being less rude because, the people out at night are expecting that. They're expecting to talk to people, they're expecting approaches, and so it's kind of understood. Whereas day game, that's not necessarily true. These people are shopping, or they're or they're waiting in line at Starbucks to get their coffee. They don't necessarily want to talk to someone. So some people feel uncomfortable doing day game because they feel that they're being a little bit rude. How was day game compared to night game for you?
I found it a lot easier myself.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the environment is not as loud, and so you can actually talk to somebody and have them hear you, or you can hear them. I think ambient noise can be a real problem for the night game. Also, your notice that they're unexpecting it during the day can add a little bit more of a shock value to the recipient of your approach, and
kind of wake them up a little bit.
Absolutely, and my comment about some of you viewing me as doing it as a machine. Well, I guess maybe that's true because I found it more like a game. It was a game, and the more you play a game, the more you learn how to play.
Yep. So, Samurai, do you prefer night game or do you prefer day game?
Day game. It's it's not as loud. People are, I understand the night game. People are expecting you to approach them. They understand they might be approached, so they might be more receptive. So in that sense, night game is easier. But day game, to me, it appeals to my nature because I don't drink, so I don't get to the same state that they are in during the night times. And I have a lot more energy during the daytime compared to the nighttime also. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Very good observation. Big D, how about you?
Unfortunately, I need to drop out, but
Okay.
I'll be happy to talk to you again if you want.
Yeah, we will be doing it again next week.
Okay.
You're more than welcome to come out and discuss what we did next Tuesday.
Okay,
So
I'll be there.
Great. So thank you, Samurai.
Thank you.
I will
Bye.
see you this weekend.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. So, Big D,
So
Do you prefer
ahead, sir.
night game or day game?
I don't know. I'm because there's pros and cons for each. For like night game, I understand the noise, but you can actually use that to your advantage. You can actually move closer and more of a connection by touching. Because like I could touch a lot easier at night in comparison to day game, like way easier. It was like automatic. Like when you're going close, like what did you say? You get up close and like just tap her on the shoulder with your outside of your hand, or if the conversation's really good, you put your hand on her back or whatever at night. Day games just I didn't really do that much touching because it just didn't feel right at that point.
Yeah.
But I agree. The energy it's a lot better in the day game compared to night game. But I typically take an energy drink either way, so it's from so far it was 4 hours day game and about 4 hours night game, so it's about the same for me.
Right.
And I think there's a progression too for from because we did two night games and then we did a day game. I think it might be also all of us are progressing, and that's my thought, because I thought day game would be harder, but it's probably around the same in the sense, because I think we're progressing so much, like at a steady pace, that day game, because I think day games are more advanced in my opinion, because we haven't even got to touching in day game yet, to be honest. We're just talking. Talking to them or approaching is just the first step. I haven't even touched yet, but like when we were approaching at night, I was touching girls all the time, not perverted way or anything like that. Just,
No, you were escalating.
On a normal reaction, normal reactions at night. So that was for me.
This makes a good point in that I think you can draw the conclusion that at night it's probably easier to escalate and actually succeed than during the day. But day, it can be easier to approach.
Mm-hmm. So
night you might be able to get the phone number, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to have to blank out the name there. So be careful there, Mr. E. This is
all right.
We're trying to keep some anonymity here. So yeah, this is Big D, Dave, and Mr. E. That's what we're going by. Okay, so thank you, Dave.
Yes. I'd say they're different. And for me, I felt like the day game was a little easier to approach for me, just for a couple of reasons. One, like I am pretty hard of hearing, and so it was easier for me to hear people when it wasn't like in a loud, crowded environment. It was also easier to see them. And the other thing that also helped is that because we're like the variety of like what people were doing was like so much higher, like out during the day. It kind of like lets you choose like if you want to talk to somebody a little different, and two, it also gives you like more hooks to talk about. Night game, I think Big D is right. I mean, like you have to get close to even like start a conversation. So the physical escalation is a lot more natural in that environment.
So one of the things that was very different about this day game was that we threw the rejection element in there.
Yes.
So this wasn't an apples for apples.
No, it's not.
Comparison.
It's apples and oranges. Apples and oranges. Yeah. This was very different. The conversations that I've had during night game, those interactions were almost uniformly longer, and that's because like the goals and the exercises that we were doing then were different.
Right. Yeah. And the point of this whole day on Sunday was to practice rejection, and so it was very scripted on purpose. Did you guys know that you were in for this when before we got there?
So I knew it was going to be a rejection day. I didn't know exactly what that was going to entail. I had a suspicion you were going to have some tasks or ways how you wanted us to get rejected. But I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. And so actually that was probably like half the anxiety, both before and during the day, because it's like, well, okay, this is bad, but is it as bad as like what's coming next? I don't know. You know, like sometimes like not knowing something is worse than knowing that something horrible is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa.
Yeah, Big D, you were like, you thought this was going to be a cakewalk, didn't you? Especially after the first 2 exercises, you were like, yeah, there's no problem.
I was looking forward to it, to be honest with you. It was kind of my mindset, I think. It was kind of, you know, in the first 2-3 exercises we did wasn't that bad, to be honest. The last one, I wasn't sure, but what happened with me, I think I just kind of petered out because I was fasting, but it could have been I just shut down. Maybe I reacted to something. I wasn't sure what happened.
Yeah, you were done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely shut down. Like after that last exercise, I'm done. There's like nothing. I was so done. But no, like
the last exercise, to be fair, the last exercise was pretty triggering.
Yeah, that was probably only a 6 out of a 10.
Yeah.
Difficulty level.
Yeah, I know.
Only 6.
Yeah.
We went from 0 to 6 in one day. That's pretty good, though, I think.
Pretty good, yeah. You guys, and I gave you the option to do one more, and I even told you what it was, and you guys were like, nope.
So so for the record, I had tapped out before that was even an option, right?
Yeah, same here. I did tap out also. I was done. Like if you told me, like if you give me an ultimatum, it's like I'm going to kick you in the balls, or you got to do this. I'm like, all right. If you told me that, but I would have probably done it. But I don't know if you're going to go that extreme, Dave.
That's what's next.
Oh God.
That's level 4.
Level 4.
Do it, or I'll kick you in the balls.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll bring a cup.
That's pretty much how it went for me.
Nice.
You know, when I was learning this stuff, I mean, it was all tough love, man. Every single bit of it was tough love. Like, go approach that woman. No, I don't want to. Go approach that woman, or I'll kick your ass. All right.
All right.
So, Mr. E, did you know what to expect?
Do that more with more Andrew with us. David's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, be with me then. With me. That's fine.
Yeah, so I did that.
I'm not going to speak for David.
Yeah, I did that my first night out, right? And like I was basically like fetal position for 2 weeks, and I would strongly prefer not to go there again. So if there's like a smoother, easier path, you know, not saying it has to be like completely smooth or in 100% like super easy, but it's more enjoyable when you're not operating in the red.
You jumped in to level 5, you know, and I was even, you know, we were out with one of my other coaches, and you know, he's used to you know, more advanced levels, right? So he just threw you in there and right away, all right, that person right there, go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you got a little bit traumatized because of that.
A little bit.
So yeah, I mean, and now you guys understand why I'm taking you down a certain path, because you know, it's like you can be, if I throw too much at you too quickly, you see what happens. You know, it's, you know, you are very resilient and you stuck with it. But there are people that if you go too fast, they're done. You know, it's like you'll never see them again. You know, they'll be in a fetal position for the next 3 months. Mr. E, did you know what to expect?
Yeah, I had a good idea.
You knew that I was going to make you guys do all kinds of horrible things. You were ready for that next level. You were the only one at the very end that was like, yeah, bring it on. Let's do some more.
Yeah, until you said what we're going to do.
Oh, and then you said no?
And then I tapped out at the end.
Yeah.
Was that too much? Was that jumping to level 6?
Well, I think, you know, I was getting physically tired, like I mentioned, so I kind of decided, all right, enough is enough for one day.
Yeah, I started you guys off real easy. I mean, it was just, it was just go ask for directions. That's it. Let's start off with something real simple. And you guys didn't have any problem at all with that. I remember you coming back and saying, "Oh, that was easy," especially you, Big D.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
I knew better.
Yeah, it
You
was.
knew better. Okay, but for you, Big D, it was real easy, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty simple thing to do, just, hey, because you actually have a reason to go up and talk to someone. And most people are receptive because they want to be helpful. And David, you didn't find it that easy?
It was a little difficult getting started. So I mean, it wasn't like the hardest thing like you've asked us to do, but it wasn't like, like, hey, go throw this baseball and eat some ice cream. That's that's something that would be like easy. It took there was a little bit of anxiety there, and so it took some effort to get over it. But once it got started, then it was like, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah. And that was the idea. I wanted you guys to just get going with something real easy. And then the very next exercise that I threw at you, I could already tell you were getting triggered. Because what was the second exercise? It was to go up and
you had to compliment somebody.
Go to a woman and tell her that she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it had to be a woman that you were attracted to.
Yeah.
How was that?
So at the beginning it was hard because I had to find somebody that I was attracted to. I think I did this one with you. I did this one with you, right, Big D? Or no? Wait, I think
you did the last one with me. I think you did.
Right. I did this one with Samurai. Yeah.
Samurai. Sorry.
Yeah. Initially it was hard. And then like I found one. It was hard just finding people. I found one, and I told her, and like the tone of her voice just like oozed like creep.
Ooh.
Like, who's this creep talking to me? And that didn't feel good.
There's the big word. That's the word that we're all scared of, is creepy.
Yeah.
None of us wants to be creepy.
I'm not. That's my personality.
You're okay. You're okay with being creepy?
Well, not like 100%, but it's like my sense of humor. I am kind of creepy. I have my natural humor is that way. I notice when I'm like, don't get her.
It's okay. I can be creepy. I can be creepy too.
Doesn't bother me.
And so this one
can't do it at work, of course.
Yeah, and so this one was hard too because at the same time I was also trying to practice like showing up and being big.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so it's like, get close, stop, you're beautiful, receive the creep.
You had a lot of stuff going on in your head there.
Yeah, there's that. So that was like the first one. There were a couple more. One visibly like recoiled in horror.
Physically did that.
Yeah, like so I was like walking closer. It's like, I just wanted to tell you like you're beautiful. And before I even like got words out of my mouth, she was like recoiling like I was some kind of like ogre. Wow. Yeah. And
props to you, man.
Yeah, that one I can't lie. So that one hurt, and it still hurts. Mm-hmm. And like the processing I've been doing like over the last few days, like that one is like, I rationally get that that's like, that doesn't really say anything about me because, the night approach day is over, and then I go back to like my regular life where, like my coworkers love me and my boss loves me and like I have like friends and family and and everyone says like I'm, like I have like that like love and support. And so like I know like her recoiling is not like a sign of like me being, like an actual like ogre that grew up under a bridge. Mm-hmm. But it's still like there's not really a communication channel between like those thoughts in my mind and like, like my feelings.
Yeah.
So that stung.
It's a rejection.
Yeah.
And that's what we were there for.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's going to hurt. When you first start doing this, it hurts to get rejected. And which is why I give you props, because when you show up knowing that, you face this kind of pain and you're willing to do it anyway, you're a fucking warrior just for doing that, just for showing up. So I give mad props to guys that just show up and do the work, because in all honesty, you're doing something that 99% of men do not do. You are a 1%er just for showing up the way that you're showing up. And that's stepping into the arena, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was probably the worst one. And then I had like a really positive experience. She was like a store worker. And so Samurai could have, cause he was there. But she was really friendly, like friendlier than like a store worker, like probably should have been, and I think she was selling some like beauty care products. And then, like after like 5 minutes, she's like basically like giving me like a hand massage, trying out like this like new exfoliant. And
Oh
and
man. Was she cute?
She was cute. Like she's like someone like I definitely like would have asked out, someone who's like, if I had a girlfriend and she were like this cute, like I'd be like, yeah, this is good.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I was a little conflicted about like escalating further, because like she's like a store worker, and I didn't like, when I'm in that environment, like it didn't register as like, oh, like is she like actually like interested or not, or is she just being friendly because like she has to be friendly to like all the customers.
She was interested.
Yeah, that's what Samurai is saying. And because like he was like, so you didn't notice that like she didn't pay any attention to me at all? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's just giving you all of her indicators of interest.
Yeah. So
you'll get there. You'll get there to where you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're, you've probably been in a situation where you're working and then someone really attractive comes up and someone that you just want to talk to.
Yeah.
And, you show them your interest,
Yeah.
So, and it's not, I don't think she was faking it.
Yeah.
That's been my experience.
She was cute though. And it was fun. And so that kind of like helps make up for like the crumminess of the other rejections.
The other ones.
Yeah.
So there, Mr. E, when you actually had to start going out and telling people that they were attractive, did that trigger anything for you?
Yes. I approached so many ladies between all the assignments that I've forgotten a lot of them, and they started to blend together. But there are a few that stand out. They really are still in my mind, and probably the most in my mind is an employee. Remember I mentioned that I found it much easier to approach employees than I did the general public. And one in particular I approached, and this was actually at the point where we were supposed to ask for phone numbers. And I approached, I mentioned how stunning she was, or gorgeous, I can't remember the word I used. And then I mentioned that the time constraint where, I don't have a lot of time, so you think I can get your phone number? And her boss was standing right next to her when I did that, listening to the entire conversation. And she was all smiles, which was good, but she said no, but I got a fist bump out of her. So
right on. Yeah, that was the next exercise that we had to do. Is the first one was to just say that you're attractive. The second one was the actual first rejection exercise, which was ask for their phone number. So you did the same thing. You went up, you paid a compliment, but you threw in a time constraint. That usually that's a way to kind of diffuse a lot of the creepiness, or because people, if you say, well, I don't have a lot of time, people kind of know it's like, oh, okay, so they're not gonna like follow me everywhere. So putting a time constraint in there helps a little bit, and then asking for the number. So that was your first rejection exercise. So Mr. E, did you get a lot of rejections with that exercise?
I believe all of them were rejections.
Did you? How many did you get?
I've lost track of the number, but quite a few.
Yeah, but you didn't have a hard time doing the exercise. I mean, I think the other guys only did a couple each.
I only did 2 that were like exactly scripted like that, and it was really hard just to like get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
One
Big
for
D,
me, only-
you had one.
yeah, only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely shut down after that.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So Mr. E there, you were just doing them over and over again, no problem at all, huh?
Well, I probably did at least half a dozen or more, but probably to the script at least 3 or 4.
Uh-huh. What was your secret?
Not giving a damn.
That's exactly what I'm trying to teach you guys, is not giving a damn.
It's not that easy.
No, it's not, is it?
No.
Getting there, I think we're getting really close to that point, though.
I know for myself, so it's getting easier, but I have a long way to go before it's like, I don't care at all, like what happens or what people like say or think. And I think that's fine. I'm actually kind of glad that I found like a group of guys who like get that it's not just easy for me to like, not care and not give a crap.
You can say shit. This is definitely an R-rated podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like, I talk to people, I talk to friends, and they're like, the key is just to like not care, don't give a shit, don't give a fuck, don't give a crap, etc. Just like, and this is like after like, and not just for like going out and like trying to like approach girls and dating and whatnot, or even if you're like dealing with a breakup, but just like everything. And I'm just like, like my mind is not wired that way. Like my mind is wired to like care about what other people think of me, and it's wired to to obsess about problems until they're solved. And it's not easy for me to just turn it off and be like, oh, well, okay, well now I'm a robot.
Right.
Now I don't care. Because honestly, because I have like robot Dave, and sometimes like he has to come out, but like it's a mask, like I still feel on the inside, and that's, yeah. So, it's not easy to get to like that space where you're just like, I don't care about what the outcome of this is.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not for a lot of guys. Mr. E, you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, I had a comment, which is not giving a damn, but maybe if I think about it a little bit more, I found that by going in pairs, you turn it into a game, right? And if you go in pairs, it's almost like you're not just trying to prove and win the game, but you're trying to show your partner that you're paired with that you're playing the game. So you're not. I would find it much more difficult going individually and doing these approaches than I do with a wingman.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We discussed this several times in the last couple of weeks, which is, having a wingman, if it's possible, just makes it so much easier. You get support. And I think even Big D, I remember he resisted having a wingman at first. He just wanted to go out by himself.
It was working though, with your advice. It was a long process though.
Mm-hmm.
Like approaching at a bar.
Yeah.
I would just approach like 5 or 6 people, groups. So the group was like probably 7 or 8 Latino women. My hands were running right when it came up. That was hard, actually. But I fell off, and then I lost all of it, I guess, because that muscle wasn't used. It's a lot easier when you're with someone else, for sure.
Yeah. What ended
A
up
lot
selling?
easier.
What ended up selling you on that? Because I remember at first you were dead set against doing that. You just wanted to go out by yourself.
Well, I think it's more probably with me because I probably, and just in life, I probably just depended on myself. So,
Lone wolf, huh?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
much
somehow
depended on
we
myself my whole life.
convinced you to come out though, and it changed your mind when we were out there.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty stubborn too. I forget. Extremely.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, for sure.
You're breaking up there a little bit. Maybe you turn your video off. We can hear your voice.
Can you hear me still? Can you hear me?
It's you sound like Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Roboto? Really?
Yeah, it breaks up every once in a while. I think you have a lower connection or something like that.
Yeah, I only have like 2 bars.
Okay. I know if you turn your video off and just go audio, that it'll come in a little better.
How do you turn the video off?
Does that help?
That's better, yeah.
Okay.
How do you turn the video off?
There's a
You're
button
already
on
off
the bottom of your screen. We can't. Your video's off. E.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically we held your feet to the fire, Big D, and then you came out and you seemed to like it. And it seemed to be working for you.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. This is a process I'm definitely going to keep going with.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the next exercise was, and I knew that was gonna trigger you guys, and that was to basically go try to get a number. Mr. E here was able to do it a bunch of times, and that's actually I think that's a great frame of mind to be in. It's just think of it as a game. Because this is all just a game. When we're just out there playing, that's all. And that made it easier for you to do it. And I also understand, Dave, that it's very difficult to get into that frame of mind, especially when you haven't done it a lot.
Yeah.
So you said you approached 2 women that way, right?
Yes.
Did you already describe those to me, or?
No, I didn't. One was a little older, but she was still cute, and went up to her. I think I did this episode with Big D. But went up to her, asked her, said like, "Hey, I think you're gorgeous. Can I have your phone number?" And immediately she started walking away faster, and said like, "I'm sorry, like no, I have a boyfriend."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the second one was I mean, Big D, like she was really attractive. Yeah. Yeah, and same thing. And it was, I think she was there with her son too.
Mm-hmm.
But tried it like
she was cute though. Don't forget.
Yeah,
she was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kept it tasteful, but same thing. Went up to her, said like, but not just that, but like, we had initially like walked past her, and so like my thought was like, like the first impulse is like, like let it go, find another one. But she was also like really hot. And like, if I let this one go, then it's going to like haunt me when I go home. So like, yeah, there's that one that you chose not to approach. Like why'd you choose not to approach her? That was another thing I started realizing when I had this thought actually like a while ago. It was last week is probably the first time I've applied it to like game and whatnot. But like choosing not approaching somebody like is in and of itself a choice.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same as choosing to like approach her. It's just you're choosing a different and in the context of this game, like a worse outcome. And yeah, it doesn't mean like doing it is any easier, but it also, I don't know, kind of like adds some more gravity and consequences to like not going up and trying to talk to them. So yeah, that was like that one, like I had to like do like a complete like 180, head back the other direction and, go up to her hey, I think you're attractive. Can I have your number? And got shot down. And that sucked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is something that happens for guys who start going out, and they start doing this, they start practicing this. They get to a point where they start regretting the approaches that they didn't do more than anything else. It's like you find that once you do this for a little while, it's like even the hard rejections, the ones that are kind of painful are less painful than not doing it.
Talking to somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you'll think about that. It's like, you might think about a little bit about a rejection that happened, and it might come up every once in a while. But if there was one that you missed and you really wanted to do it, you're going to beat yourself up bad over and over again. That's the one that you're going to remember the most, the one you didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very true. And I find that happens once you start doing this, once you start practicing more and more. You look at the missed opportunities more than anything else. So, Big D, you said you had one, and then you totally conked out. Tell me how the one went.
Pretty much I approached, I don't even remember what she looks like because there's so many women that we approached, but I approached and what did I say? I said hi, and I just wanted to tell you that you're an attractive young lady, and then she just bolted straight up. Just left. Yeah. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I completely shut down after that. I think it was the half energy, half like, wow, that sucked. But I had other rejections before that. But that was probably the harshest one I had, because I was pretty much getting positive responses. Like I didn't have a problem getting people's attention. I am a big guy, 7 feet tall and like 4 feet round. So, I didn't really have that problem, to be honest. I just got to wave my hand. Hey, how's it going? Because I got a natural deep voice, and I get people's attentions pretty easy when I want to.
Yeah, for sure.
But
you make a really good point there too. I think that a lot of the times, I mean, the rejections can be cumulative. They can build up. It's like, and we're, cognitively, we're not thinking about it. It's just like, oh, okay, it was another one, and then you kind of move on. But you might find that at one point you just like crash just because all this energy just hits you. It builds up and builds up and builds up, even if you're not thinking about it. And then boom, it hits you. And then you're just kind of like, okay, I'm done. And I think after that exercise, everyone was done, I had probably at least another 4 levels for you guys if you wanted to keep going.
Yeah. Can you give us a little hint?
I told you. I said.
No, the next one after that one. After what was it? What is it? Beautiful phone number hug, right?
Yeah, I said one of the ones you could do is get hugs.
Okay.
Right?
So
because
what's the next one after that?
Laptop or phone, you had a giant fucking Google Doc. Like
I do.
Exercises. I was just like, I caught a glimpse of that, and I was like, oh fuck this.
Oh, you saw it, huh?
I caught a glimpse. I caught a little glimpse.
He's like, picture. So what are the next 2 levels? Give us after that.
Well, the next thing I was going to have you guys do was to try to go on an instant date with women, and this is this is an exercise. Yeah, I've done this with, and I've had some guys that were successful with it, and I that's the exception to the rules. Like, you got to keep playing the game unless it actually works, So, so the idea that the first one, trying to get their number, that's it. Then it leads to the next one, where you're asking for directions, and then they start to tell you, and then you go, nah, I was just kidding. What I really wanted to do was take you on a date. Let's go right now.
Wow.
Well, not exactly like that. I mean, you guys, you can finesse it any other way. I mean, I've actually had success doing that. Like just walking up to a woman and just being like, wow, you are amazingly attractive. And I absolutely could not live with myself if I didn't approach you and ask you to come have some coffee with me, because I just want to get to know you a little bit, just a little bit. And it's worked.
Smooth. That's so smooth.
I kind of been doing this for a while.
You only see that on like YouTube. What's his name? He's called a prankster or something like that. I've seen him do that actually.
Yeah, it's if you like I said, if you learn to do it, and you've had success doing it a couple of times, it can work. So that was going to be the next exercise I was going to have you guys do. Yeah, and it was going to get worse.
Feel the anxiety already. A little bit. Wow.
Oh, it was definitely going to get more and more challenging as we went along. So this time, like I said, we're practicing rejection. I always recommend that you practice rejection. I mean, I've just made it a point, on a Saturday when I've been just sitting around doing nothing. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go down to the local Trader Joe's and get 10 rejections, just because, you start to learn that rejections don't mean anything at all the more you do that. And
any context, not to interrupt.
What do you mean? The context of getting rejected?
The rejection. Yeah.
No, it's just
$1,000, something like that.
Well, you could literally just play like these games that we played like this weekend, like at a Trader Joe's on your free time.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that you learn. I would say that I've learned probably the most from rejection days. Going out and actually getting rejected. Those are the days. Those are the times when, it's like I really learn what energy is all about, and what being creepy is all about, and just actually going and practicing, because I mean everyone can practice doing positive things, right, all the time. It's like, okay, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to try to get her number. That's my goal. I'm going to go out and I'm going to approach 20 women tonight. But to actually sit back and say, I'm going to practice the bad things, I would say that gives you an advantage, because you understand what the energy is and you're comfortable with it. Like a lot of guys, as soon as they feel creepy energy, as soon as they start to feel creepy, they tap out. Done. It's like boom, they can't even function. It's like, oh, she thinks I'm creepy. I'm gone. I'm dead. That's it. And it's over, Whereas like with, like someone who's been in creepy situations and is comfortable in creepy situations can be like, well, oh, sorry, was that creepy? Oh, that totally creeped you out, didn't it? Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to be creepy like that. I hate it when creepy people approach me. You can totally learn how to get out of being creepy, and you're okay with it. And you can even like, the woman that I'm dating right now, it's like, she'll tell me all the time that was creepy. I'm like, oh, really? Was it really? Oh, okay, cool. It's like, I'm totally okay with it. So, I highly recommend that you guys actually practice it when you can, just take, it only takes an hour. I mean, I can get rejected. I can get 10 rejections in 10 minutes if I wanted to. So tell me, what were your takeaways? What were your takeaways from this rejection day, this day game rejection day, Mr. E?
I think the most important lesson is energy, and you mentioned it just a moment ago, and it reminded me that maintaining your energy, or even increasing your energy as your approach continues or goes on, is very important and something I need to work on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think energy is very, very important. It's I mean, when you start understanding energy, it's going to do nothing but help you. Nothing
It's
but
so easy.
nothing but help.
It's so easy to start to soften your voice as you've made the approach, and you start to ask, mention the beauty and the phone number. It's very easy to start to lower that voice and be a little softer, but you got to keep the energy and enthusiasm up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that you don't always have to have high energy, and in fact, one of the things I've been teaching you guys so far, and something that we're going to go very deep into, is learning how energy works, and learning that you're not going to probably one of the worst things you can do is maintain high energy during the entire conversation, because you're going to burn people out if you do that. What you do want to do is you want to have waves of energy, and that's being able to have high energy when it's there, and then being able to have low energy when it's there, and still be engaging, and still being able to hook them. That's what we're going to get into.
That's a good point for that's a good point for also just banter in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, banter doesn't always have to be, playful and fun is not necessarily like, high energy. It can be low energy as well. In fact, I've had some really, really cool low energy, playful conversations with women where it's just, there's this other concept, and I'm going to give you guys a preview right now. There's this other concept of creating a bubble, right? It's creating a bubble with a woman that you're interested in, right? And if you're able to create this bubble, you're creating your own little world, and it's your own private little world. And that can be very, very special, and a great way to build a huge, huge amount of attraction with a woman that you're on a date with, or that you're talking with out in public. So this bubble is something that that is actually better to create it in a quiet space. You've created your own quiet little bubble. There may be all this energy going on around you. You might be in a club, you might be in a bar, but if you've created this little bubble, this little low energy, quiet little bubble with you and a woman that you're interested in, it's amazing, right? You've created a huge, huge attraction magnet with her. So that's why I think you guys should practice low energy as well. And this is something that we're going to get into as well as we go on. So yeah, energy, very, very important. Very good observation there, Mr. E. Okay, Big D.
What's up?
What's up? Key takeaways.
I would say
Nothing.
that, golly, I don't know. I'm looking forward to going through this process, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, that's kind of like the only thought. Like, I could tell my mentality is getting closer and closer, like not giving a fuck pretty much. Like today I got like 3 calls from this fake IRS call. Like typically before I would like freak out. I'm like, you know what? I don't really care. Go ahead and freaking contact the Santa Clara County or whatever. I'll just freaking get a lawyer. I really don't give a shit, and I just freaking deleted the message.
Wow, don't end up in jail, man.
No. It's not real. They send you letters. They don't call you.
Mm-hmm.
They call me like 3 times, so it's fake.
Gotcha.
Has to be. But yeah, like work too, man. It's the same thing. Like at the dentist office, I was giving shit to the lady who was cleaning my teeth. Oh my God. Most people wouldn't do that, but I didn't care. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to try this not give a shit attitude. Try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
I was making
so your big takeaway is learning to not give a shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm getting closer and closer to that point, I think. I'm not there yet. But
yeah, that's what the rejection days are all about. If you practice getting rejected, you just like eventually you just learn like, who gives a shit? You know, it
like that
doesn't mean anything about me.
Yeah, like that 3 second rule, like for sure. Like you should keep that constant throughout the whole time instead of reflecting. Because I think you're right. I think it accumulated all those rejections. That's why I shut down. But I wasn't even thinking about it like at all. Pretty much the whole time. I was like, okay, I thought it for a second. I'm like, okay, who cares? Keep going. Just don't think about it because it's not going to help you. It's just going to recirculate in your mind over and over and over and over. Just focus on what your goal is. So that was kind of where my mentality was.
Good job.
Not there yet, but
you'll get there.
I'm gonna get there.
You'll get there.
For sure.
So good skill to have, just not giving a fuck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dave?
I think the big takeaway for me this week was there were a couple. It's okay to get rejected. It doesn't really mean that much. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change your value or your worth. And I would also say the second takeaway is that it's okay to, I don't know, to feel like nervous or anxious about like all of this stuff. You know, people have trigger buttons, and just the fact that you have one doesn't, I guess, it doesn't make you like any less.
No, so, it doesn't make you any less anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had fun, and it wasn't easy. I know a lot easier ways to have some fun. But yeah, I'm gone this week, so I won't join you guys, but I know you have a special assignment.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a special assignment that you can practice on your own.
Yeah. So
and then I'm gonna have you check in with us next Tuesday on it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, I have a special place in my heart for rejection days because it's difficult. It's a very difficult thing to do, to go out and purposely try to get rejected. And a lot of things come up, a lot of stuff comes up and you're faced with it. You have to look at it. You have to deal with it. That's why I try to make it as structured as I possibly can, because when you structure it, at least you're not worried about that. It's like, okay, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get rejected. Now go do it. And even then, even when it's like, I'll give you a script, of things to go do, you still get triggered. You still like, I don't know if I can do this or not. But you do it. And then, I think you guys will learn as this process goes on. We're going to have some more rejection days for sure, because we're going to get, our skill level is going to get more and more. And, and you're going to need bigger challenges. And I will definitely have them for you. So yeah, I really, I've come to enjoy, rejection days, just for that reason. And, I think you guys will too. I mean, it's like with all of my clients in the past, I've done many rejection days, and, with a few exceptions, a lot of guys just end up loving it, love doing it. Except for those who get like extremely triggered, like super, super triggered. But even then, no, I mean, like you have not seen triggered. Believe me, you have not seen like when you sit down and you can't even move, that's triggered. And that happens with some guys. But you guys, fantastic. I'm so glad you came out. You're fucking warriors for coming out here and doing this, because no one else wants to do it, and that makes that, that's what gives you the edge. That's what gives you the advantage, is that you're willing to show up. So excellent job, you guys. So are there any more burners here? Does anyone want to get anything out before I close out our session?
I thought, I wasn't really thinking about it until you guys were talking about fun, or it was going through hell. But to be honest with you, I thought it was the growth process was actually fun.
You felt
Not the actual path, that we're going through. but the growth is actually the fun part.
Well, imagine what would it be like if you guys were comfortable with rejection? What would
No boundaries, pretty much.
Yeah, you pretty much just go out there and say whatever the fuck you want, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's like a good thing for me.
Well,
Maybe
you know,
it
you gotta
is.
keep it PG rated at work, and you know.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that,
during
but-
certain circumstances, but
yeah, of
you
course.
know,
You got to hold it back a little bit.
yeah, but you know, for sure, there's a lot of fun to be had. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, and we'll get there. All right. So, anyone else?
Nah, I think that's it for me.
No, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. All right. So, thank you for joining us for podcast number 3, which is now in the books. I'm David Mitchell. I'm the founder of Social Reset, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.